I'm Rick and this is Linda, and we just got back from a trip to Panama. I had some wonderful plans. As it turned out, it was totally different than I had planned, and I'm sure much better. We got the work done that we planned to do. It just was so different than what I had thought. Think that it was the same as my plan?
No, I don't think anything was the same as your plan. I think it was God's plan, all
Yeah,
of it.
it was.
And it all worked out better than expected, I think, all of it, everything that happened there.
I had planned to take some tools down. I had planned to enlist some young boys to teach them how to use the tools and do the work that we were going to do. As it turned out, there was an older man and a woman and another young boy that became the team that did the work, and we accomplished the work of building new desks for the school. We assigned them titles, and we made T-shirts for them, and they participated in that, and they were very happy to get them. They were laughing and with joy, and we actually went back the next day, and they still had the tools, and they came back and worked again.
Rick and I went to this escuela we'd gone to the last few years, and in that we come to know the teachers. We brought 2 duffel bags full of children's books in English, Spanish, study books in English, Spanish, and flashcards, pencils, pens, and we also brought a pencil sharpener, of which they'd never seen before. And it was from Trafton School, that's right. And Jennifer Fuentes gave it to me. So we showed it to the teacher, and she had never seen anything like this before. And so we sharpened a pencil, and she was just amazed at that. One thing that we did do is I had the children sitting on the benches all around, and I cut some pipe cleaners in half, and each child had to ask me for the pipe cleaner in English, and they'd have to say please, and then they'd have to say thank you in English, and then I would say you're welcome. So each one did that, and I wouldn't give them a pipe cleaner unless they asked in English. And so we just made rings and made pipe cleaner ring around the area that we were in. It was really cute. But the elderly people were of great interest to me. Rick and I had gone into Bocas to Asilo, which is the old folks home there, and we went in and visited. They unlocked the gate for us, hoping we were going to stay, I guess. But we were able to go around and visit and see the people and visit with them as best we could and see what their conditions were. Nothing like our nursing homes, of course, but they were still clean and small, and these people were getting to the end of their life, and they were being well taken care of. We also met a gentleman, Duke Ellington. Yes, Duke Ellington was in there. He was a blind man, and he was very funny, spoke English, and so Duke didn't know he was talking to Santa Claus, so it was fun when that came together and he felt Rick's beard. But it was just good to be there with them. You just don't have to be doing anything all the time. You're just there with them, and it's so worth it to them to know your presence is there and that somebody cares about them. And so that's part of, like, we say we're going there to do this work and that work and this work and that work, but it's also quite possible just to be with some people sometimes and have a really good relationship with them at that time, of their lives. So I really appreciated that a lot.
It didn't seem like they had many visitors.
No.
And came up to the gate and, hello, hollered in, and somebody came out and unlocked the padlock and let us in. They didn't ask who we were. They just let us come in, and we used our best Spanish, and went around and talked to almost everyone in bed after bed after bed after bed. We talked to people and hugged them and shook their hands, and they were all very happy to have someone come and say hello. One man was walking, and we talked to him, and then we went outside in the patio area, and then we came back in, and that man was on his bed, and I went over and talked to him and hugged him, and he was weeping. He was so touched that someone would come and say hello, and I told him, I said, Dios está en mi corazón, and he understood it. He loves the Lord, and so that was a pretty fun high point. And also the Duke Ellington was a lot of fun to talk to, and he could have been Duke Ellington at some time, but I don't think he really was. But it was fun to see him, and some of the people were deformed and had missing parts of their hands and stuff like that, and bumps all over them and
Just
things.
like all of us.
It was fun to participate in their lives for a moment and bring a little bit of hello, how are you to them. They didn't know who we were, but it was just fun to go there and say hello, and we would hope to do that again. If we can make it a annual visit or something, and they'll know who's coming next time.
My name is Rob Dupree, and I heard about the trip from talking to Ellie, and we were discussing how to put gutters onto houses, and so I got interested and tried to come up with some different ideas, and so I thought, well, maybe I can be of use down there. I was really impressed with the people that came down here. The team worked together very well. You have a lot of different scenarios out here in the field when you're trying to put in water catchment systems, and everybody worked together really well. We were able to work with the homeowners in a lot of situations, and put the tanks where they wanted them, and we came back later and found out that the systems were working, and that was really great. Yeah. Well, the Indians in their homes, some of their homes are fairly nice by their standards. Some of their homes are pretty rough. You can tell some people really are trying, and some they just go day to day. We've struck up quite a few friendships. And we even went by and watched them play baseball for about an hour the other day, because they have several teams and they play just across the water here. So they seem to have enjoyed us stopping by to watch them. It was fun. Yeah, I was pretty apprehensive about coming on this trip, like what was it going to be like, the people that I'm going to be with, because a lot of the people I didn't know. But hey, I wasn't sure quite what the accommodations were going to be like. You know, you're just kind of like, well, is it really going to be too rough or so, or what's it, you know, the insects going to be too bad? But they haven't really been bothering me, and we've had fairly nice accommodations down here. So that hasn't been a real drawback. It's warm, yes, but not terrible warm and humid, and you know, the rains will get you. There's a lot of rain, and they'll come on, and it pours, but that hasn't been too bad. So you just go out and hide under some shelter from the rain, and then go back to work. It's been a positive experience all the way around. I mean, you can really see that you're actually helping people. It's not just a matter of oh, well, somebody else can do it. These people actually can have the need, and you can do something right there for them. So yeah, I hardly recommend coming down, and it was well planned, and the trip went very well. It's a lot of fun. But, yeah, you won't be disappointed. It will really change the way you look at everything else in your own hometown.
All the water contaminate. That's the reason who drink it gets sick. But when you use the system from the well, and it's less contamination. I learned to design the the pump, the way how to set the system, how to drill it, and it's very interesting. A very smart system. So, and I learned to design the bucket to take water also out the dirt. Also, you teaching me then.
My name is Bobby Wood, and I'm here on Isla Bastimentos in Panama. So the tribe of Indians here is the Nobe Bugle, and they typically live in huts that are elevated with thatch roofs and pretty simple conditions. Many of them live in mangrove mud, and they don't have access to clean water typically, and so they do a lot of drinking of the creek. And so one of the things that we've been trying really hard is to work with them on explaining why they have vomiting and diarrhea chronically, and a lot of that comes from drinking unsafe water, and also bringing them other sources of clean water through wells, through rainwater collection. And we're so blessed to have this team here with us, Aleph and his team from Washington State, really working with a lot of the communities here to bring about rainwater collection and drilling wells for them too. But also hitting the most important thing, which is the spiritual side of things, you know. And it's not about religion, it's not about church, it's about a relationship with Jesus Christ. So we believe that as we're here, our job is to also truly love the people, show them love even when we don't feel like it or when we're being lied to or taken advantage of, and understanding where their position is in poverty and, extreme poorness. So that's where we think we're heading. So we're now seeing with this latest team, being able to reach villages that we could have never done on our own, because there are so many resources and a plan, and also the ability to teach the local people. What helps in that department is the fact that they're getting involved now. They're helping their neighbor. We're seeing the excitement. When you have a whole community that's lived with chronic diarrhea and vomiting, and then you come in with a team, and the team provides all of this information, not only information, but resources and materials in order to make it happen so that these people can now have clean water. When somebody has the love of Christ within them, and they want to share that, and they're coming with a team with skills and abilities and resources, what we see is that those people, when they reach out with the love of Christ to these people and just share and speak with them and just hang out with them, that we actually start to see change in their hearts. And on this team specifically, we've seen there's a guy named Phil. And Phil, spending so much time with these young men and just talking with them about different things and struggles. And we see changes. We see changes in their heart. We see changes in the questioning that they have. And so I wouldn't, if any of you are considering coming, but you don't think you have a skill or ability to offer, if you have the love of Christ, you have enough to offer people.
My name is Ellie, and I live in Panama. What I really like about Panama are the animals. I like kinkajous. Kinkajou is an animal related to the raccoon. I think kids should come down because I think they'd have a really fun time. Because if they like to swim, you can always swim here pretty much. And I think they should experience the Bat Caves. And if they like adventure like I do, there's a lot of adventurous things to do around here. And I think they should experience something like that in their life so that they can tell about it once they're older.
My name is Shirley. Why we're here, it's a long story, but the short of it is just that God told us to come here, and we came in obedience to that and are trying to do our best to help the local communities. We love having teams come for two reasons. One is very selfish. Like, we just love the interaction of meeting new people and getting to develop friendships, and we don't have really a faith community here to speak of. So for us to be able to just hear people's testimonies of what God's done in their lives is life-giving to us. It really is. You don't really realize how much you miss that aspect of just not having a church to go to, not having a home group, a Bible study, people to pray with and just hash through the Bible with. The second part of that, the reason that we love to host teams is because it helps us meet the needs of the people around us. And you know, we really, really, really do feel that God led us to this place, and we're slowly figuring out what it looks like to minister to these people and love them the way that we're supposed to. So having that support is huge because, you know, as a family, as a couple, we can't do this on our own, and certainly without the Lord, we couldn't do any of it. So it's not the easiest place to live, and it wouldn't be the easiest place to visit either, but there's a lot of beauty here, and we do encourage teams to at least take one full day to be able to do something that this place offers, you know, whether it's snorkeling, going to the beach, going to the bat caves, or you know, just cruising about. It's a beautiful place, and we'd love to have more people. So come one, come all. Whatever your skills are. Again, have said this many times to people, but the sky is the limit when it comes to wanting to impact people. If you're passionate about something, if you're skilled in something, I think that exposing them to whatever that is wonderful. And you know, you just might inspire one little kid or, you know, one parent to pursue something that they never thought of or that they didn't think that they would be able to accomplish either. So I would love to have great people. We have just been really blessed by Elif's team and how much they've been able to accomplish in a short amount of time. Everybody's so hardworking, and I mean this very sincerely. It's just, you guys have been probably by far one of the best teams we've had come through. Both times that you've been here, you just, you know, the skills are so varied and the talents, and yet you also have that heart piece that is really to connect with people and to make, you know, build relationships with them, and you understand the importance of that, and just the humility that you come with too, to say that you want to support us in what we're doing. It's just been a huge blessing. So we've been blessed, and I know so many members of the community have been blessed, and I'm excited to see how this further advances just our goals and the purposes we think God's called us to do here.
My name is Phil Corey. Well, we were assigned to work on the water catchment project and a lot of repairs of others that have gone before, and at the same time trying to teach people how to do it as we worked on it, so that we were always with other people that were there, the local population, where they could learn the techniques we were using. One of the special things that wasn't in the job description was riding around for many trips in the cayucos, the big canoe. Well, I'd always get, if I could, with one of these guys, and we'd talk. I could just talk about my relationship with the Lord and what He'd done for me and how it totally impacted and changed the direction of my life. And I could see such an ascent there. They would nod their head and we'd comment. And I felt that God really did enable me to do beyond what I was able to do, because of the work of the Holy Spirit through me and bringing to mind verses and things and experiences. So it was a tremendous blessing to do that. And I think I saw appreciation in them for what was being done, and they were learning the operation, how to do it, which I thought was also good. Pretty willing to work and be helpful. So, well, a big surprise to me came after a week or so of working there. Somebody said, "Hey, there's a fishing trip day coming up. Did you want to go?" And of course, I wanted to go. In fact, when I was in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade, they called me fish in school. So I know about fishing. So we went out with a little charter boat, went fishing. And first we caught some little fish that we put in a live well so that we could use those. Then after that, we put it on there. And right away, Samantha got a fish, just hit that line so hard and came flying out of the water. The captain took it, and then he said, "Hey, you want to use it?" Of course I wanted to get down. So I got a hold of that fish, and I mean, that was a fighting fish, a tarpon, about 50 pounds we caught. They have the great big scales, and the toughest fish I've fought, I think, in my life. And the captain said, you know, they like us to release these because they want to catch them again. But he said, those Indians you're working with would really like to have this fish. And that's exactly what I was thinking. So I said, that's what I believe. I'll take that to him. So we got back to the compound, and boy, they all came out of the woodwork to see this big fish. Yeah, you know, about 4.5 feet long, I suppose. And then I gave it to the guys. And I told them, but you can have this fish, but you got to bring me a piece tomorrow. So I want to try it. So they cooked some on a kind of a barbecue thing and brought me a piece. Very good. So Ron and I had some of that. It was a lot of fun, really was. And then they made us go back to work. That was only half a day of fishing. When we were working on a well, some of the guys were talking about a baseball game. So I got to talk with them a bit, and they said, yeah, we're having a kind of regional thing. There'll be teams coming from different places, and they wanted us to go. And we wanted to go, so we did. I don't know what day it was, but we took a boat ride over there to this field. And if you've been in the mangroves in that country, there's never any flat place, never anything open hardly. I said, where are they going to have a ball field? Well, they had a fairly decent ball field, and they had about 5 or 6 teams there. And we got to watch till about the 6th inning. I think they played 7 innings, and then they switched to another team. Pretty good players playing on most of them in barefoot. Some of them had shoes, and well, both ways, but they played some good ball, so it was a lot of fun. And I walked right in there. I wasn't intimidated. I just walked up a guy on the sideline and said, hey, are you coaching, or what are you doing? We just talked to him. He was kind of happy that we were there, it seemed to me. He was just playing ball, and I talked to a couple other guys. They were very open to discuss. You know, I talked baseball pretty much, and then told them what we were doing, and they were interested in that as well. So I thought that was significant. Then I could apologize for walking out on the game, because I said, we have another appointment. We got more work we're supposed to be doing. We just wanted to come and see you guys play for a while. I think they were pleased with that I talked to. Pretty good accommodations. And so we weren't plagued with bugs. We weren't seeing, cockroaches and things like that. There were a few bugs around, but it was very good accommodations. Adequate water, even warm water for a shower. So, and then they fed us very well. So one of the things I always remind myself, that Jesus cared about the needs of people, and he told us to be the same way. So we're doing that. And it's a cup of cold water in his name. Sometimes you don't even have the opportunity to say what you represent, but still they know it. And I remember listening to Everett Koop, and he preached about the need for a heart transplant. That's the need in our culture, any place in the world, is that God touches their life. It changes how they behave as a family and operate. So, you know, that's a need, but never do I lower the value of what we're trying to do in meeting another need, and that's a physical need, because they have tremendous needs for health issues. And I watched Ron work just a little bit with the medical and the dental, but I saw they brought hope to people's lives because they could help them with their felt needs. We plant seed wherever we go. Most anybody, if they had a heart for doing something to help people, could be useful. You didn't have to do the hard part. I wasn't climbing up on the ladder, pulling and sliding those on there. So I think you can have a lot of different levels. I'd sign up, go down there and put yourself to work on something that'll help people.
My name is Charlie Hall, and I was initially thought it would be an interesting trip to take. I had been considering doing a mission trip for some time, but really the selling point to me was the opportunity to take my daughter on a trip and expose her to something that you just can't, see every day back home. I thought it would be an opportunity for a father-daughter trip of a lifetime. When we arrived here at the place we're staying and got off the boat, my daughter Samantha walked up the path and stopped and just had this totally bewildered look on her face when she saw the Brahma bulls or cows that were there. And it was just something I hadn't seen in a while. You could just tell she was relaxed, she lightened up, and since then it's been great. We've had a marvelous time. It's pretty much what I anticipated from talking to everybody, that a lot of it is, extractions of teeth that have abscessed and things. It's something that's going to stick with me and stick with, I think the rest of my dental team this morning was our first patient this morning was a young gal. She had 2 abscessed teeth that needed to come out. They're infected and it was obvious. But anytime you have an abscessed tooth, you never know whether it's going to actually fully take. And, we went through with it, but she was not a very comfortable child. And, you know, it was interesting to see the whole team come together. You know, I've got team holding her hand, you know, stroking her hair, you know, trying to make her comfortable, and the mom helping out, you know, and everybody supported everybody, and, you know, everybody kind of pitched in and got the job done. Even though you really didn't want to do the job, you really didn't have a choice. You couldn't send the patient home and put them on antibiotics and have them come back in a week. You know, it was now or never. And in the end, everything worked out. So that's probably the biggest highlight, especially of the day, that sticks with, I think, everybody on the team. I don't think I've ever been in an area that has had such extreme poverty as this. I talked with some of the other people that, you know, my expectations on the trip and bringing Sam and hoping that this was a right age to bring her and expose her to this. You know, I think it's so far lived up to everything I had hoped for. And like I said, the first day, I kind of had my doubts that she was going to, you know, give in and just kind of go with the flow. But in talking to her, you know, I mean, I can tell she's actually truly enjoying the whole experience. So it's been everything that I had hoped for, and I think it really will be something that, you know, we'll both take with us for the rest of our lives.
I'm Samantha. I'm a sophomore at Stanwood High School, and I came here with my dad. He's doing dental work, and I came to assist him and learn about that. The first thing that I noticed when I came here was there were just some cows hanging out. And that just completely startled me. I don't know. I never expected to see cows here. I don't know what it was, but I don't think I'll ever forget that. Just of everything I've seen, the cows really stick out. So yeah.
That's classic.
Today we went to an island where it was pouring down rain, and I was handing him instruments. I learned so many names for different instruments I didn't even know they existed. And we were pulling teeth on some children, lots of children. And it was very interesting. I understand now why he's an orthodontist. It's not every child likes to have needles in their mouths. They sometimes react strongly, but it was really interesting, and I think we helped a lot of people. And they don't have access to a lot of medical care that we do, that we take for granted. And so they'll come in with just these, like, you know, crazy things that they haven't been able to have treated before. And it's really different than what we have here. Like rotting teeth all over the place. They don't have toothbrushes, so they can't brush their teeth, and then they have to have them all taken out, and then they're without their teeth for the rest of their lives. Here they don't have clean water sometimes, and it's hard for them to do just normal things that we would do. Having a room to yourself is not something that people here have. You know, they live all together in one room, and it's not easy. I'll definitely think twice before I take a really long shower or something. You know, you'll just kind of remember what it was like here. It hasn't been easy, but I have liked it a lot, and I would probably consider doing something like this again.
My name is Seth. Today we went around to this whole village up here, just around the corner. We went and put up water catchment systems for everything that had a tin roof. Even all the houses is kind of fun because each house, it's like a different puzzle. Everyone's got to, decide how we're going to do this, where the tank's going to be, how we're going to get it to the tank. You got to figure out what pieces you want to go where and how you're going to angle it and all this. And it's a lot of fun with the guys I'm working with. They're really smart. They've been in construction and all this, and so there's lots of brains out there that know what they're doing. They're really smart at it, and I'm just like, I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. Just point me in the right direction. I'm a workhorse. Yeah, it's just been a blast, and if those ladders, climb those ladders, they think it's kind of sketchy, but I'm working in the fire department, I'm on ladders all the time, so I'm super comfortable with ladders. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. The locals jump in and they help us out, which is super cool too, because then it's kind of like joint effort. Everyone's, jumping around and helping out. Especially all the locals were out there and they're building it as they're doing. They were nailing up boards all day, and they were jumping in there, sawing PVC pipe with us and just helping us get up there. And they were getting up on the roof and they were nailing stuff on the roof to get it all going. So the school's looking really nice, like something you wouldn't expect out here, but it looked cool. And they're super excited about everything we did, and they're super thankful for it. The living arrangements are very poor. I mean, a lot of them are sleeping on the floor. Or there's one side thin mattress, and there's people crammed on it, and it's really poor living conditions. And I kind of feel bad for these kids. My heart breaks a little bit that, I can't just take them all home and give them what I got, and the living conditions are rough. They have 5-gallon buckets sitting around catching water, and once they run out of that water, they start drinking out of these, just mud and the cows have been pooping around it, so it's just nasty water, and they got to drink it to survive because you have to have water to survive. They all get sick, and they all, have diarrhea, and it's really bad for their health, but they have to do it to survive, and so that's what we're here for. Put those roofs up, and they were super nice. Like today it started raining, and it was so cool putting the gutters up. And as we're putting the gutters up, I'm standing there at the end sliding one on, and it starts raining, the water flows down, and just flows into my face. I was like, yes, this is what we're here for. Played volleyball with the locals today. That's a lot of fun too, because volleyball, universal rule, everyone knows what they're doing. We're just playing, smiling, everyone laughing at each other. After our volleyball game, I went around, shook everyone's hand, and said good game, and I think they thought that was kind of weird, because like in America, we usually go around and say good game, good game, good game, and like we was walking around, me and Andy, we were shaking everyone's hand, saying good game, and they're all like looking at us kind of funny, Just hanging out here with all these people, because everyone here is a great person. Like, just when you get in a group like this where like God is the focus of their life, there's something about when God's the focus of their life that just brings out the best in people, and everyone's just a good person. I just love it. Just being here is a complete eye-opener to, like, because, you see the commercials where it says, oh, people have poor living conditions, you give money here, and everyone's like, I don't want to give money because I don't know where it's going to go. And so this is one way you can just pay your own way, come out here and just know your money's going to the right place because you're doing it yourself. And putting up these water systems, I feel like it's really going to help out with the health and their quality of life out here. And it's just a lot of fun coming out here because, meeting new people, seeing new things, experiencing different cultures, it's all just a great experience.
Walking through Bocas, as we looked for the silo, we had to walk down a lot of streets, and there were some maybe 3-story buildings. It looks like old town New Orleans. A lot of French, a lot of balconies and things, and most of it's pretty run down, but we heard somebody say, wait, wait, and they were shouting down to us, and then they'd run and get their children, and they'd come out and say, Santa Claus, and it was like we were a 2-person parade going down through Bocas, and people were waving, and children, and
Even the people our age.
yeah, it was funny. It was really quite a fun thing to be a celebrity. And that was fun.
I like the people that we're with, the people that we stay with. Everything's just great. It's continuously craziness, and I love that. I fit, and everybody's kind to everybody. I really appreciate that. You don't have to think too far ahead of yourself because it isn't going to go that way anyway. So if you wanted to go to Panama, you don't have to make these grandiose plans or anything. As long as you can go, work, any kind of work, God's work, you're in. It's so simple. There's a lot
of opportunities. It's just a matter of being there and going and learning. And I would say I don't know anyone in our fellowship that couldn't benefit or help others by going and participating.
It's okay to step out of the boat. You can step out of the boat and carry on. God will take care of you. Everything's good.